The iron felt cold underhand as Ferret Pernala traced the ornamentation. She closed her eyes and took a deep breath in with her hand placed firmly on the thing's chest. "This would make a very fine home indeed, Lord Pixiador," she said when she finally opened her eyes.
"Viscount,"
Pixiador hissed in correction. "Viscount." Her tongue traced over the word as if it was interchangeable with the honorific she had used, but the egos of humans was a frail thing, and she bent to his wishes. After all, there is no harm in humoring this mortal. "But you have yet to give me a why."
"Is the agreed-upon sum not enough why, mystic?"
The Viscount replied with no shortage of disdain in his voice. Ferret herself did not like the word mystic, but his life is too short to be exchanging epithets. "Some is suitable, hence why it is the agreed upon. But the why is more important in the ritual, is more a mechanic of necessity than to satisfy my curiosity. Remember, I am to coax an elemental into this husk. Not a one would venture close enough to be bound without reason." Ferret replied smoothly, almost coldly. The Viscount was glad that she appeared to have no clemency for the earth elemental that he required, but was cautious to relay his motives to this stranger, even if she was playing a formidable role in the animation of his domestic.
"I am an aging man, mystic Pernala, and I am sure that you have come to understand the fragility of human life in its later years. I seek a being that can assist me with all manner of tasks, a general attendant, if you will."
Ferret nodded, almost to herself, as she gazed deeply into what would be the being's eyes. "The sum." At her reply, Viscount Pixiador produced a small but heavy leather pouch and placed it on the table to one side of the room. The coins inside clinked ominously as they settled. Ferret nodded and waved the Viscount to step back as she spread her arms wide. Now, the Viscount wasn't skilled or schooled in magic, but even he could feel the power begin to gather near her. Dust began to swirl from the stone cracks in the floor and slowly begin to spiral around her. The earthen particles began to speed up, and the cyclone increased its density as it appeared to have swallowed her whole. This caused the Viscount to take another cautionary step backward. After a few moments, the dirt was moving so fast it appeared to be standing still, and Ferret began to chant. The Viscount was no stranger to languages, one of his fortes, actually, but he was at a loss to where her words came from. Then, before he could muse on it more, there was a snap, and her words finished. Like a great beast, the gyre leapt upward, and for half a beat it appeared humanoid, before diving into the cemented mouth of the iron behemoth, and the room was silent, with the exception of the mystic's panting as she attempted to recover her breath. The Viscount went to take a step forward when the eyes, joints, and mouth of the creature illuminated in a brilliant yellow light, and an inhuman roar escaped it. "Caution, Viscount. A confusing time for an entity to be bound to a host. It will be enraged for quite some time, and I suggest you leave it be for a day or two while it settles into its new body."
"Is it bound to me?"
The Viscount hissed eagerly in reply. Ferret nodded tiredly in response.
"Marvelous work, mystic. Creature, speak to me your name so I may call upon you properly."
The iron head creaked as the entity moved its neck for the very first time. "Umber," the giant beating rumbled.
"Umber."
The Viscount rolled the name over his tongue as he committed it to memory.
"Umber, there is the woman who has imprisoned you in this iron husk. Dispatch her."
And he smiled as the mystic gasped and a look of horror spread across her face. The giant lifted itself stiffly from the table and began to lumber towards Ferret. The look of shock at this point had faded into serene determination as fireballs whirled to life in her hands. Ferret's screams echoed throughout the subterranean passage for an uncomfortably long time. But even more uncomfortable was the sound of the Viscount's laughter that filled the void as Feridun's pleas faded. Hey there, creatures, and welcome to Encounter This, a podcast exploration of the creatures from Dungeons & Dragons and the lore that surrounds them. Well, hello there, creatures, and welcome to another episode of Encounter This. I am your host, James. I'll never remember what fucking side of the box that's on. Truth, kid. And with me, as always, my good buddy and your co-host and showrunner for this episode, Freeman Death Eiston. Welcome to part 2 of the suite that we are calling Golember because we didn't have any better portmanteaus.
Welcome to part 2, which will cover the cultural lore, the also known as the IRL lore in real life. And honestly, we'll cover a little bit more than that. Even we'll get into some TTRPG stuff as we go.
I know that's what we call this segment, but I've always had a bone to pick with it because it is mythology. It is not in real life.
Yeah,
but I can't for the life of me figure out a better thing to call it.
Mythology.
So write in if you got some
folklore.
listeners.
It kind of depends on the topic at hand. So I think we've stuck with one of the a sort of neutral zone almost. You know.
Yeah.
By definition, it changes pretty often.
True.
Now, this one, I could be wrong, but this might be a first. This is Jewish folklore, the golem. I can't quite recall if we've covered anything in Jewish folklore previously. I don't think we have.
I'm sure we have, but not like specific.
Yeah, like tangentially, probably.
Yeah.
So this is very specifically Jewish folklore for sure. So the golem, first appearance appears once in the Bible, in the Old Testament, in the book of Psalms, 139 verse 16. The verse is about being under the gaze of God at all times. And I haven't bothered to quote the verse here because it's really vague and sort of non-specific, but it is understood.
Probably boring as hell too.
It's a bit an odd one. It is understood to be about being under the gaze of God at all times, but the translation of the word itself, golem, seems to imply what is called an unfinished human, and the meaning being something like the my light form, quote, or quote, raw material. So it's very, very non-specific. And we're talking about a lot of loss in translation here, and like the word golem being in the original Hebrew. So the modern Hebrew of the word is currently used to mean dumb or helpless. And in the form of a metaphor, generally referring to a mindless entity specifically that serves a man under controlled conditions. And it is sort of passed into Yiddish with the meaning of someone who is actually lethargic or in a stupor, as it were.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a lot of unspecific defining of that word, but sort of within a theme. There's a sense of helplessness, incompleteness, and lack of personal motivation, I guess. A requirement for something else to prod that forward. So golem stories go back to early Judaism. Adam himself, as an Adam and Eve, starting as a golem, when, quote, his dust was kneaded into a shapeless husk. And as with Adam, all golems were shaped with mud by someone, that was, quote, close to divinity. But a golem never formed by a human was ever fully human. So only the divine could form it into something human. But that gets us to the territory that it is very much believed that humans did form golems. They just couldn't become human, as it were.
Oh.
Questions so far? Please don't ask.
I mean, I don't really know how to have questions about something like that, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's so, I don't know, archaic.
Yeah. Esoteric for sure, which is part of the theme, right? It's very much part of the theme, which we'll find. Yeah, very, very hard to relate to and hard to, like, you know, fully understand in a modern sense, that's for sure.
There's a lot to unpack there, and we are not the people to do it. So I think it's probably best that we just move on.
Yeah. Certainly don't fall into this category. So so early on, there was a main sort of disability, as it were, of the golem, in that it was unable to speak, which was fairly important. So creating or animating one was believed to be done through a ritual, and one would use various letters of the Hebrew alphabet to form what was called a Shem, or a name of God. So a name of God being things like Yahweh, Elohim, Shaddai, some examples. So writing them on a piece of paper and inserting it into the mouth of this shaped golem, or upon the forehead, to create what is known as, or quoted as, an ecstatic experience. So ecstasy itself comes from the Greek literature, basically describing an out-of-body experience, to put it simply. And so, no offense to Judaism, but it sounds like people were getting high to me. And I'm not just relating it to the ecstasy, the drug. Like, the whole out-of-body experience is what the drug would be named after, the modern drug. You know, it's like, you know, it's kind of very closely related to all that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they didn't have ecstasy back then, because ecstasy is a cocktail.
Like, but I mean, if you go further into the Greek literature side of it, it is that ecstasy, where the word comes from, is very much rooted in, you know, not being sober and having these out of body experiences. So it is
some mixture of cobra venom and opiates, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So adding to this, some tales describe golems as being inscribed with words, or a word, such as the word emet. I'm not going to pronounce this right, but that means truth, written on the forehead. And thus the golem could be deactivated by removing the first letter of emet, making met, which was the word for death, hence our nicknames. So you could make this thing become true, and then you could kill it by removing one letter from the Hebrew alphabet and making it death.
The New York Deaths.
You know it. So related to this is the famous phase of abracadabra, which actually comes from the Aramaic avracadabra, which means I create as I speak. And in this case is connected to Kabbalah, which is Jewish mysticism, with some belief that mystics, known as Kabbalists, did indeed have some power and could connect the tangible with the intangible through an esoteric method of discipline and school of thought, specifically the physical with the, quote, essential spark of life, the soul. So...
Yeah, do you want to unpack that for me?
Yeah, let's recap.
That kind of...
This was a weird one to research, and this was mostly from the wiki page, like Wikipedia, and I looked at some other stuff, and it kind of just reiterated the same things. So you basically forming there's an esoteric discipline in Jewish mysticism where you can form a body, and it's the physical part of a person or a possible being, and that is a golem. It can never truly be human unless the divine creates it. However, it can kind of come close, and Jewish mysticists or Kabbalists did have enough power to give it some part of life, which is connected to the power of a soul. more or less.
Okay.
Now, this is do not take that recap as religious history accuracy at all. I could be entirely wrong on so many points, but that's the gist of what I've gathered. And a lot of this, as far as I know, lines up with what we talked about in the first episode. It's really just about, crafting something and then finding a way to give it a spark of life. And it's not quite the homunculus. It's got a little bit more life than that. But so the that's the basic gist of the Jewish folklore.
Yeah,
Now,
that is that's a lot in itself. So I appreciate you you taking on this episode, because I am still, maybe it's the time, maybe it's because we've recorded a couple episodes already, but I'm having a real hard time wrapping my head around that.
Right.
So they make the body out of clay,
mm-hmm.
which is representative of the first human, Adam, who is also made out of clay.
Yeah.
So it's mankind trying to replicate God's work again.
Mm-hmm.
But since they're not a god, they can't actually give them life. So they just jam a piece of paper down their throat, and that gives them
or
a
inscribe
semblance
on
of
their
life.
head. Yeah.
Oh, or inscribe it on their head.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it is using specific letters of the Hebrew alphabet in the form of a Shem, which is and somewhere related to a naming of God. So it's got like a mystical power to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because the name of God has power.
Right. And so that's where the ecstatic experience comes from, which is part of the spark of life that is added to the shell sort of thing, I think.
Yeah, that's where you're losing me, is that I don't understand how a name has ecstatic power. Like, I get that sometimes we all call out God's name in moments of ecstasy.
I think it also needs to include, from what I've gathered, the power of a Jewish mystic. So like these individuals would have power. So it's not just writing the word, because anyone could do that, but there's a ritual to it.
Okay.
That is not obviously not described in detail, such as drowning bats in milk.
Right, but one of those is a real thing you can do, and the other is this.
One of them is not telling you anything.
Yeah, we also do not endorse drowning bats in milk.
No,
Bats are
not.
Wonderful, mostly endangered, and so good for humanity. So please do not drown them in milk.
So if we get into claims of golem creations, we can look.
This is a rabbit hole we're going down.
Yes, of course it is.
This is going to be good, listeners. Strap in.
So there was a Polish Kabbalist, also known as a Jewish mystic, who wrote in between 1630 and 1650 about Rabbi Eliyahu of Chelm, who lived between 1550 and 1583, or at least performed this within that range. So this rabbi apparently created a golem. It's described as follows. Love these wiki quotes. And I have heard, comma, in a certain and explicit way, from several respectable persons, that one man living close to our time, whose name is our Rabbi Eliyahu, the master of the name, who made a creature out of a matter and form, and it performed hard work for him for a long period. And the name of Emmet was hanging upon his neck until he finally removed it for a certain reason. The name from his neck, and it turned to dust.
That is a perfect religious story. Just
like
every aspect of it.
He finally removed it for a certain reason, but not a specific one. Cracks me up. So this story was further elaborated by Rabbi Jacob Emden, 1776. And quote, as an aside,
200 years later, this was elaborated.
Yep. Quote,
cool.
As an aside, I'll mention here what I heard from my father's holy mouth regarding the golem created by his ancestor. The Gaon Rabbi, I'm not sure what Gaon means, but the Rabbi Eliyahu Bel Shem of blessed memory. When the Gaon saw the golem was growing larger and larger, he feared that the golem would destroy the universe. He then removed the holy name that was embedded on his forehead, thus causing him to disintegrate and return to dust. Nonetheless, while he was engaged extracting the holy name from him, the golem injured him, scarring him on the face.
Some continuity errors in this story, but okay.
Sure, yeah. He's trying to clarify the certain reason, And so the Polish Kabbalist,
right, but he changes it from a sign around his neck to an inscription on his forehead.
Right, that's where we're getting our topsy turvy. Who knows what it was? Could be either or.
Well, so it was nothing.
The unnamed Polish Kabbalist also said that the legend was known to several persons, thus allowing us to speculate that the legend had indeed circulated for some time before it was committed to writing, and consequently we may assume that its origins are to be traced to the generation immediately following the death of Rabbi Eliyahu, if not earlier. So it might not even been this rabbi. Effectively, what I've interpreted from that is this is a very much oral tradition, word of mouth tale, up until it was written down by this Polish Kabbalist, well after the fact that it happened. So, it is completely unreliable. Like in all considerations, completely unreliable. We all know that eyewitness testimony does not hold up in a court anymore, so it's not a thing.
Most courts. There are still some countries, where it does.
Yeah, son of a bitch. So all that aside, all that historical inaccuracies aside, the most famous narrative of the golem is the Golem of Prague.
Yeah, here we go.
Okay. A late 16th century rabbi called Judah, I don't know quite how to say this. It's Loew. Given it's in Eastern European, I'm going to call him Love. Judah Love ben Bezalel. We're going to call him Rabbi Love, I think, from now on. Reportedly, he created a golem using clay from the banks of the Vltava River, which is in modern-day Czech Republic. Using rituals and incantations, brought it to life and tasked it with defending the Prague ghetto from anti-Semitic attacks and pogroms, which were very common at the time. Depending on the version of the story, the Jews were at risk of either being killed or expelled from Prague under the rule of Rudolph II, the Holy Roman Emperor. And the golem itself was called Joseph, perhaps Yosef.
Yusuf,
and also known as Yosel. And it could apparently turn itself invisible and summon spirits of the dead itself. And the rabbi would deactivate it on Friday evenings by removing its shem, so it could rest on Saturday, the Sabbath day of rest.
I thought Sunday was the Sabbath day of rest.
Not in Judaism.
Okay.
That's a Christian one.
Right.
I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Metal as hell.
Yep.
I'd love a giant clay friend who could summon ghosts and turn itself invisible.
To be fair, it seems slightly silly to give it a break if it's a tireless being. I mean, I'm assuming it's a tireless being, but it's kind of.
I think this is more to do with honoring God than honoring the golem.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Honoring that particular God. We should not just generalize that all God are gods, because that is sure as shit not my God.
So there's a version of the story that sees the golem fall in love, get rejected, and then turn violent. And a violent golem is a very common account of this story, and some of the version have this one going on in a literal murderous rampage. The rabbi was eventually able to stop it by removing the shem from its mouth or forehead in front of a synagogue, which seemed to be a particular detail, which then caused it to fall to pieces. The body was then stored in the attic of the Old New Synagogue, which is still Europe's oldest active synagogue. And it
that's
was
cool.
stored so that it may be activated again if needed, but the rabbi forbid anyone but his successors from accessing it. So no one was allowed to go unless they were a direct successor of his teachings.
Okay. Anybody who is a direct successor of Rabbi Love's teachings and is a listener, reach out to us. Let us know if there's a golem out there.
Well, as you say that, in fact, a successor did try this in the 18th century. They prepared themselves to go up the stairs to the attic to verify the tradition. It was
Okay.
Rabbi Yechezkel Landau. He fasted, immersed himself with mikveh, which is a bath used for ritual purification, wrapped himself in phylacteries, which are small boxes that are strapped to the body containing scrolls of parchment with verses from the Torah on them, and a prayer shawl. He ascended the steps.
For modesty.
Yep. He ascended the steps, got to the top and stopped, and then turned around. And he was reportedly trembling and completely frightened. And the reenacting of the law of Rabbi Love's original warnings against using the golem, he reenacted them. He said, no one can go. Okay. And so legend held that the golem remained in the attic from there, except until a renovation of the attic in 1883, which found absolutely no evidence of a golem.
No, just chunks of clay floating around or anything.
No.
That's really too bad.
Yeah.
I was really hoping there would just be like a box of clay up there just to at least carry the legend with it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't have to be a real golem. It just has to be a box of clay shards. But
right. Yeah.
That's
there was
sad.
absolutely nothing. So Tales try to further explain that that the body was stolen and buried in Prague's Žižkov district, where the TV tower now stands. The Prague TV tower now stands. So there's like specific stories about that. Further modern observations of the story see the origins of the tale as being purposely obscured in order to exaggerate the age of the tale, and as such, in some minds, legitimacy. Some people think old is truer, you know.
Right, that makes a world of sense.
Right. It's apparently obvious that Rabbi Love himself never actually wrote about the golem at all, which is kind of a weird thing. Everyone wrote about Rabbi Love's association with the golem, but he never wrote about a golem himself. And this is the most famous tale of the golem for Rabbi Love. He never wrote about it.
Let's call it the second most famous tale of the golem, because we have one that we're going to touch on later that's probably a little more famous.
Sure, okay. I mean, as far as I know, it's the most famous within Jewish folklore.
Yes, that's probably, yes, yeah. I would agree with
that. In fact, no trusted Hebrew work from the 16th, 17th, or 18th centuries ever referenced Rabbi Love creating a golem at all. So it's way outside his life range. So the origins point toward Jewish locals in Prague, and it seems to have been part of the Jewish folklore movement that coincided with the German folklore movement. And the tales are basically all written by Jews in German that are related to this tale. So yeah, it's a fairy tale. It is effectively very much a fairy tale.
If it wasn't, we wouldn't be covering it on this show.
True enough. So of course that brings us into, there are the themes of this story as they're written. Like, I haven't really told you any detailed stories, just like the basics of them as we go, but there is a consistent theme in all the stories, and it is usually a theme of hubris. So even though golems are said to follow tasks directly and literally with complete obedience, the golem of Chelm was seen to grow enormous in size, become uncooperative, and the rabbi having to resort to trickery in order to destroy it. The stories, of course, of Frankenstein or the Sorcerer's Apprentice come to mind, and the modern Terminator follow the theme of the constructed persons at their core. And the golem is usually what you call a cautionary tale, with some stories being good and with the golem as a hero sort, but also include things that go awry. And the theme usually leans into the awesome and terrible that is life and the power over it. So as much as there isn't this grand depth to the golem story, it has been expanded upon, to an unbelievable degree, and this like sort of understood theme of like the power of life and playing God and that sort of thing.
Frankenstein is the one I was going to touch on that I think is probably the best well-known story of the golem. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, of course. Certainly the most obvious one.
Yeah, and hubris is defined as excessive self-confidence or pride.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah. So really really fascinating, I think, in its own way, that because what little I found about the golem in Jewish folklore, I felt like I was still familiar with it in many capacities. Not that I have a long list of comparisons, but I think it's really cool. And there is a variation of this story that's somewhat famous. It's a Yiddish and Slavic folklore tale that tells the tale of Clayboy, which combines the ideas of a golem and a gingerbread man. So gingerbread man is the one that we might be a little more familiar with. But that comes from essentially from this story where a lonely couple make a child out of clay with disastrous and comical consequences. Or a common Russian version of the story tells of an older couple whose children have all left home, and they make a boy out of clay and dry it by the fire. It comes to life and they are delighted and treat it like a real boy, but it doesn't stop growing and eats all their food and then their livestock, and before long them. And it rampages through the village until it's smashed by a, I shit you not, quick thinking goat.
I mean, fairy tales love to anthropomorphize, or I guess that would be humanize.
Yeah,
not technically anthropomorphication, but that doesn't. I mean,
one clever goat manages to trample the livestock man-eating Clayboy with that explanation, by the way.
It's very fragile. Maybe the goat just jumped on it. I don't know.
Cracks me up.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
So of course we know that a lot of us are familiar with the story of the gingerbread man. It's a very similar thing, which is running around, the whole village chases it, and it's eventually caught by a fox, I believe, and then eaten. But yeah.
Crazy.
And that in a nutshell is the mythology and folklore of the golem.
Okay. Well, with that, we're going to take a quick little break, and we will be right back with whatever the fuck Freeman is playing for us next.
Bonus content! Yeah!
And for you listeners, the audio version, you get that sweet, sweet segment that we've dropped from the video section. And like the dark themes of hubris, I'm going to ingest, as we continue on this episode, a very dark male. Black, in fact. Strange fellows, black male.
It's really dark.
That might be our worst segment either.
I just cracked my beer and it just splashed into my eye. It's so bad.
Oh yeah, mine just got on my keyboard.
Who carbonates these bastards anyway? This is ridiculous.
Oh. Insane. It's so fucking good. This is the first blackmail I've had in a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, they become very difficult to find, so I'm very happy.
Oh, get the new apartment.
Yeah. And we are back after that short break, and Freeman mentioned bonus content. What kind of bonuses are you bringing?
Well,
is it you can't possibly top this story of the gingerbread man.
No, I can't. But I knew this episode wasn't going to be terribly long, but we're doing it sweet. So I was like, we got to fill the ranks a bit here. But then I got to thinking, Well, wasn't all that long ago that we released an episode on Stemming the Tide, where you actually encountered a golem. And I thought, 2e Pathfinder 2e golems are pretty cool. I know you're going to cover the 5e golems in the next episode, but I went to take a look at them and I thought, oh, there's a neat little tidbit to golems in 2e that I thought would be really fun to cover, and we can kind of like mishmash between this episode and the next.
That's actually perfect, because the gentleman who sponsored this sweet tekale is a very, very big fan of 2e golems and keeps bugging me to read the lore. So this is going to count for that. Awesome. I hope you now understand why I didn't actually read the lore.
Because what I'm going to start with is, excuse me, drinking beer, is the actual 2e lore compared to the 5e stuff, more or less. And then we'll get into the little bonus stuff that I have. So awesome. They're very similar to 5e lore. They are crafted of base materials of varying values. They are mindlessly obedient creatures to their creators, and they will mindlessly obey for years or even centuries, even beyond the creator's death. Often the creator is among the most talented spellcasters or artisans that exist. It takes a lot of extreme work and effort to create this. Golem manuals also exist as magical text that aid the creation of golems. Yeah, this is translating right across. Details are left up to the GM discretion, however, in this case, and how they help. So they don't specify that part. And Paizo does not describe what the benefit exactly is. So they are magically animated through one of two methods. The most common is the binding of an elemental soul or essence, which is basically the same.
That's some straight up 5e shit.
Considered vile and blasphemous to those who believe in the sanctity of the soul, obviously.
Perfect.
And evil creators often prefer this method. Not just because it's evil, but apparently it is easier. Because the least common method is a less disreputable approach, of course, and it is to siphon positive energy into the body. From the positive plane, imitating the creation of a soul, although it does not create a true soul. The method is much more costly and far more time-consuming, but it is more morally acceptable, I guess. So you might see a good
some
nation
galvanistic
doing
shit right
know.
there. Yeah. You magic so hard you almost make a life, but you're not good enough to make a life.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
that's some dark shit. Can you imagine, like, even the good version is some dark shit. Like,
right?
Like you create something self-aware enough to realize that it's not real.
It's the Rick and Morty, like when he builds the little robot. He's like, "What is my purpose? You pass butter." Oh my god! It's the same shit.
Yeah, exactly.
He creates a self-aware passing butter robot. It's so brutal. Oh, that's my kind of golem. No, it's worth mentioning that regardless of the ritual that you do, neither method makes a difference in how the golem functions. So it produces the same intentional result, no matter what. The magic and ritual imbues the golem with unique magical forces that leave it susceptible to certain kinds of magic, but also with very few weaknesses overall. Like it's crazy. And you've encountered this. I know you more or less understand this concept. So, namely, they are effectively immune to all magic, which with each's small exception, and are nearly impervious to most weaponry. So they're very tough. They have very specific weaknesses and are very strong against pretty much everything else. And here's where we get to the cool, fun part of this, is that golems are, they contain valuable components that can be harvested after defeat, although the value is at the GM's discretion and certainly depends on the golem. So they have little sidebars for most of these golems in the bestiaries for Pathfinder to describe what you could kind of harvest from them.
That's so cool. I don't think we did any of that, but that's so cool.
You didn't, but actually, it's you'll almost see why it almost doesn't matter. Or maybe it could. Who knows? Metagaming would. But let's get into the first one. And we have artwork for this. Fun. Let's get into the first one. From Bestiary 1, we have the Flesh Golem, which looks awesome.
Yeah, I mean, the foxtail dick tabard doesn't really do a lot for me, but the vest seems unnecessary. But yeah, this is.
I believe that's called a loincloth. Yeah.
No, I don't. I mean, maybe it's a loincloth.
It doesn't matter really.
Yeah. Dick tabard is an Eons of Battle reference for those of you who watch mini painting YouTubers.
So James, you have the show notes open for this, yes?
Yep.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to describe what is more or less in the sidebar for the creatures, but I also have a little bullet point called Freeman's recommendation, and I want you to read those to the listeners when I'm done.
Okay.
For each one. Okay. I had some fun with this. So Flesh Golem. So these are basically made a whole bunch of flesh and stuff like that, but there's also contraptions made of steel and copper within them that are designed to harness electricity. These are basically Frankenstein, and perhaps can be sold to tinkerers and such, especially those who don't ask questions. So they have little bits and pieces. Can you go ahead and read my recommendation to the players?
Yeah, before I do that, I have to. It's Frankenstein's monster.
Oh, sorry.
Put on your butcher's apron when searching this corpse.
It's Freeman's recommendation, just in case.
I guess you really do have to bone it.
Next, we have the Alchemical Golem.
Alchemical Golem.
Yeah, it is. It is quite the difference.
This is a goofy looking contraption.
Yep. There are intact alchemical chambers that can be extracted and produce lesser alchemical bombs from this creature. So you can actually, depending on whether or not it is used any of its abilities based on these alchemical chambers, you can withdraw something like an Aciflax, Frost Vial, Bottled Lightning, or Alchemist's Fire.
And Freeman recommends maybe a hazmat suit for this one, or at least some oilers.
Well, you know,
I don't know what an oiler is.
You know, oiler like a Sowist or like a fisherman wears like oilers. There's like the overalls.
A coverall?
Yeah, but like way more sturdy.
Okay. Okay.
Sturdy. That can actually resist really brutal conditions.
All right, you learn something new every day.
Yeah.
And make sure you check out our Insta for this artwork, because this might be the goofiest looking thing I've ever seen.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Actually, doesn't make sense.
We move on to the Clay Golem, where certain parts of it actually may be of interest to archaeologists or scholars. So this one is a little more obscure, as they may actually be made in the image of divine and possibly using ancient materials, up to and including, if you look at the artwork, possibly like actual written on stonework or clay work or what have you.
Yeah, there's a clay tablet where its 6-pack would normally be.
Yeah. So for the Clay Golem, really cool. I recommend
bringing your seaside bucket and shovel.
Yeah. Well, you never know.
Maybe this is actually my favorite artwork out of all these.
It's really good. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
I love that beard. That's what I want my beard to look like. Just a stone tablet.
That would be awesome. That'd be a hell of a way to braid it if you could pull it off.
Yeah.
That'd be super cool.
Maybe one day.
Next up, we have the Stone Golem. So depending on its condition after defeat, the material used in its creation, parts of which may be worth as much as an immaculately carved marble statue. So you can, possibly sell it to your local art gallery. Who knows? But this one implies a little bit more of taking an already formed statue, perhaps, in order for it to have value. But
right, I think that might be a war crime in our world. But
yeah,
you may need the hefty holler feet to carry a bust out or something. God damn it.
I'm just full
I
of
can see why you're making me read these.
Yeah. They're written for that intention.
Yeah.
Next up, we have the Iron Golem, which I actually love this one. I love this one.
Yeah. This
And
one's
actually,
really good.
I love this fact. It can be melted down for scrap, but it could also be traded to fire giants for repurposing as armor for a large creature. Which I
Oh,
think
that's
is a
pretty cool.
Cool little fact. Yeah.
Freeman recommends going in with the floating disc spell prepped for this one.
Well, it's going to be quite a heavy haul. The
Yeah.
hefty hauler won't cover it.
That's true. Yeah. And this artwork is amazing. This looks like the original Wonder Woman costume, but she's breathing poison, which is great.
Yeah,
it's
so
great.
cool.
It really is good.
Yeah, it's awesome. And you got to remember that all these creatures are like at least large, if not huge. Like they're big for the most part. So we have the adamantine golem.
Next up, we have a literal train.
This artwork is straight out of like Final Fantasy 3.
It's a literal train.
It's amazing. I wish we had more time to go into it's a stat block even. The amount of adamantine required to make this golem is worth more than most nations' treasuries.
Jesus.
And it has a particular heart within that can be turned into a legendary blacksmithing forge. It is of an unbelievable amount of value. It's so cool.
Okay. Freeman recommends lowering this one into a forging area first because you are not going to be able to drag this around.
Yeah, basically.
Crazy.
Just set it up. Just kill it where you're going to set it up. Call it a day.
Yeah, for real. Within its heart burns the power of a blue dwarf.
Yeah. That's bestiary 1 of Pathfinder 2nd edition. We're going to move into number 2 here. The list will get shorter as we go, but bear with us. Hope you're having fun. We have the Carrion Golem. The power used to create and preserve these creatures keeps them riddled with disease. And it could still actually be harnessed by necromancers or other evil spellcasters. So there's not much value there except for a very specific value.
Yeah, this is just like skinned animal parts kind of haphazardly stitched together.
Yeah. So if you're going to pull this thing apart, I recommend
an apothecary mask.
just in case.
For those of you who don't know, the nose on an apothecary mask is so long because it's just jammed filled with potpourri.
Yeah. It's going to smell real bad. It's going to be bad. We have the Ice Golem. I love this one too. This is really fun. So unless it's in a freezing environment, the golem will quickly melt as the magic dissipates upon defeat. But captured water could be sold to scholars looking to investigate the arcane power within. And sometimes shards of ice that resist melting form upon the death and can be sold for high value to wealthy people looking to preserve food or chilled drinks, which I thought was pretty damn fun.
And of Freeman course, recommends wearing gloves to avoid frostbite.
Well, I mean, better safe than sorry, right?
That's true. This I really like this art too. This creature's like crystalline for the audio listeners, and it if you ever read any of the X-Men Extreme comics, it looks like Iceman when he wasn't just a complete bitch. There's your hot take for the
day. Moving on, we have what James is familiar with, the Wood Golem. Often made of rare wood, most of which should remain intact so long as the golem is not badly damaged by magical fire. Carpenters and sculptors may be interested in purchasing. However, finding a buyer becomes more difficult if the golem is carved in the likeness of a wealthy person, especially if they are recognizably famous. So, in your case, spoiler alert, everyone, quick pause, skip 30 seconds. It was one carved in the likeness of someone not necessarily famous, but a likeness of someone anyway. But also the only way you defeated it was through magical fire. So, and you're back.
And Freeman recommends wearing gloves to avoid splinters.
Hey, gloves are your friend, man. gloves.
I
gloves are
know.
your friend.
You're preaching to the choir. I have like
See,
6 different pairs
I knew
of
the
gloves.
previous one wasn't very funny, but it's funny now that I've done it twice.
Right. That's what we in peripherally in the comedy business call a callback.
Was it too soon? Was it too late? Who knows? Glass
Who knows?
golem. Glass golem. So upon destruction, the glass golem, of course, shatters into very tiny shards. But if any large shards were to remain intact, they can be sold to glass merchants or skilled crafters to create glittering artwork.
Stained glass windows. And Freeman recommends to seriously wear gloves. Glass is sharp. Okay, now it's funny. The rule of 3.
It's the rule of 3. We're going back to Haguary.
Yeah. This artwork is kind of ethereal. Like, it doesn't look like it's made of glass so much as it looks like a container.
Yeah.
I don't see any real light refraction so much as I see light reflection. So this artwork, I think, is probably, it's beautiful. It's a really beautiful image, but I don't think it represents a glass golem nearly as well as last episode's 2E stained glass golem.
I guess it does sort of assume in its own way a sort of like environment, despite the fact that it's in a white background, because like you're seldom seeing like that's a physical
and a light source.
That's not only a creature that is human shaped, but again, imagine if it's large or huge. That's probably some of the thickest glass you've ever seen in your life. So light refracting through it is going to be very different than the average glass. You know, it's even just like an ornament in your hands that's got thick glass. It's like way thicker than that. But it definitely does assume a certain amount of lighting and environment for sure.
Yeah, and I it's a solid representation. It's just probably my least favorite in the bunch.
It would be really difficult to represent this creature without that assumption. Like how do you do it exactly?
The way Pathfinder does it, I see what you're saying. For me, the solution is obvious. Put a background up there.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Because a glass this thick would still refract light. It would just refract light so drastically it would look more like the Predator shimmer the whole way through. So everything would be like 7 inches to the left from where it actually is, or
right.
I know there's a mathematical formula for refraction distance and stuff like that, but it would be very similar to like when you look in water and something is way further away than it looks.
Yeah,
it would be a similar effect if I'm not mistaken, and I could very well be mistaken. I'm not a fucking scientist. Getting drunk on the internet.
What a gig. Let's move on to Bestiary 3, where we have seriously the goofiest artwork available.
No, I love this. This looks like a fucking transformer.
This is the fossil golem.
Yeah.
And of course, the collection of properly fossilized bones can be valuable, which is a bit odd if you think about the world of Golarion, because dinosaurs exist in Golarion, present day. But apparently there's still a value to them because fake fossilization can happen. So some people will actually hunt down living dinosaurs and turn the bones to stone with magic. They'll petrify them with magic. But anyone who can prove that one is genuinely petrified over actual time will receive a higher value and price. And fossil golems are essentially that. So if you defeat one, you can pretty much guarantee they are effectively properly fossilized.
Okay.
I actually love the idea of there's a cheated level to that market.
The gray market for fossilization.
Yeah.
And Freeman recommends you bring your bag of holding because there are a lot of bits and bobs here.
Oh my God, it's a big old dinosaur bone creature. Of course, you want to bring a bag of holding.
Yeah. So for the listeners, it looks like it's got Tyrannosaurus feet. It also looks like it has, one of those larger carnal predators, a skull for each hand with the jaw attached. It is wearing pauldrons made of triceratops skulls, and its head is a combination of what you would imagine a raptor skull looks like if you ever saw Jurassic Park, but in combination of what is probably a plesiosaurus bottom jaw and then some sort of bifurcated jaws on the side.
Yeah.
So it's actually like a
real
4-piece
amalgam.
jaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fact that you love
Yeah.
this art speaks volumes about your love for the Jurassic World series.
Yeah. Love dinosaurs. Don't know why. Don't know where that came from.
Yes.
Don't know why I realized it on our dinosaur episode, but I do. Love
I
dinosaurs.
love them too, but not those films. God.
Yeah.
And we have the Mithril Golem.
Yeah, this listeners looks like Doug Jones if he was voiced by Lawrence Fishburne.
Yes.
I think it was Doug Jones. Fuck, I hope it was Doug Jones.
So this is the same size and value as the adamantine golem. I did the research. Same size,
Okay.
same material value. It just does not have the heart aspect of the legendary blacksmithing forge. So effectively the same idea. However, this creature does have a particular ability that it can go from a solid to a liquid form.
Okay. So more T-1000 vibes than the Silver Surfer from those early 2000 Fantastic Four movies, which is where that Doug Jones voiced by Lawrence Fishburne reference comes from. They straight up Vadered him.
Yeah. And because of that, my recommendation is
bring a flask of holding? I threw in the upward inflection because he actually wrote a question mark.
I did. I don't think it exists, but hey, it could be in liquid form, so the bag might not be the right receptacle for such a thing.
Yeah, bag's probably not the right receptacle for a liquid metal large creature.
Yeah.
I actually, the more I look at this art, the more I like it. Like, I don't actually enjoy the art, but like the little details about it, like liquefying
really
and
cool.
re-solidifying, that's really well done.
Yeah, really neat. And that ends our venture into the bestiary books, which sort of ends our venture into freedom of OGL and community use policy. But we can still talk about the remaining golems. Yes, there's still more.
Okay.
So you basically have some golems from spoilery sources, basically coming from adventures and other settings and stuff like that. So I'm not going to go into mad detail about them, no, any more than I did the previous. But we will still touch on a little bit here. So we have the Quantium Golem, of which only 2 have ever existed. And they actually exist in the port of Quantium, which is the capital of Nex. So they're not made of Quantium. It is a location. And they're created by the Wizard King Nex himself, and made from a supernaturally smooth material, as is described. One is crimson and the other one is emerald in color. If you go look them up, it's actually kind of a pretty cool concept.
I'm getting more and more familiar with Nex, and Nex is metal as hell.
They are extremely monstrously large and extremely dangerous. So my recommendation is
just don't.
Pretty much. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't fight them. It's a bad idea.
Just don't go to Nex if you can avoid it.
Yep, just don't do it.
Yeah.
Next, we have the guillotine golem, which is very, very specific. All I know is that the stat block is a variant of the iron golem. However, by the artwork that I have seen, which is not available for free, it is still mostly made of wood, despite being a variant of the iron golem.
Okay. And Freeman recommends not losing your head about it.
My mom would be so proud. Next is the obsidian golem. Obsidian is a material found in the Darklands, especially at the deepest level known as the Black Desert. It's commonplace as a crafting material there, but Pathfinder has yet to detail its value, at least in the second edition, or its use.
Right. And Freeman recommends us all simultaneously crossing our fingers for a Darklands source book.
That would be so fun.
Yeah, that would be
Good
pretty
would that
great.
be?
Or an
Yeah.
adventure path properly set there. I'd be here for that.
I'm into it. And then the last one, the very last one we have. Oh, thank you for sticking around. The solar glass golem. I have no idea what this is. It appears in an adventure, though no info on the material itself. Outside of that, that's it.
Okay. And you recommend wearing goggles of night? Maybe?
I was reaching for that one. I have no idea. There's
Crazy.
nothing to go on.
That's wild. There's also like, I'm currently searching Google for an image of it, and there is nothing.
None. So I did find the image in one of the adventures.
Okay.
I actually don't remember what it looks like. But I feel like it was a stained glass thing. I don't remember.
It better be the most metal image anyone has ever seen.
I have literally no information on it. So
crazy. Well, listeners, that's it for the IRL lore, I guess, and the Pathfinder 2e lore. So we're gonna do something a little out of the a little more out of the ordinary, I guess. I'm going to dive in and take over from here because this is where we would normally throw the pop culture into an episode, and Freeman and I have established that is somehow firmly in my domain.
Yeah, I'm really bad at finding them or even remembering them. So yeah, that's all you, bud.
All right, and we have another couple images for you here. And the first one is a redone still from a 1920 movie called Der Golem. It is a German silent film by Paul Wegener, Henrik Galeen, and Henrik Galeen actually wrote Nosferatu from 1922, based on Gustav Meyrink's 1915 novel of the same name. The images from this are just amazing. And that is Paul Wegener as the Golem, like the director, writer, also stars as the Golem, and all of the images are super good. It should be available for free out there somewhere.
That's from 1920.
This is from 1920. This is a modernized still of this movie.
Okay,
like, so
I mean
the whole movie was colorized and you know all that stuff later, but like the practical effects for this movie are so good. And when you see the images, you'll know them because you've seen them before. Like every Golem is based off this movie.
Cool.
Up next is the Golem from the Wheel of Time series.
That's what I know.
Yeah, this image is by Brom from the Wheel of Time RPG. There were 6 made by Agenor during the War of Power to assassinate the Aes Sedai. And they, like the Golem of our world, are immune to magic. So they are immune to the one power.
Yeah. Oh, man. Fairly recently finished the Wheel of Time finally after many years and many years late. But easily one of my favorite I guess antagonists of the film of the story. Absolutely was always fascinated by the threat and how to overcome them. Was always so edge of your seat, so goddamn cool. They could squeeze through, because you see the image, you can squeeze through any like small tiny space. They just couldn't barely ever be hit. They were always slithering away. They looked human, but like they were also called gray men, right? They were defined by their nondescriptness. They were easily missed in a crowd, you know, because they were so unobvious, and it was so part generic of their shtick. Yeah, and like it's what a cool comparison to the Golem that's like not a human, you know. But they look like one or what have you.
Yeah, I really look forward to getting deeper into the Wheel of Time when they actually beat one of these things.
It's so cool. It's such a cool concept, and they're just brutally difficult to destroy. Only 6 were made, and if you know the
Yeah.
timeline at all, it's a long time for one to
Yeah.
still exist. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Up next, we have Golem, the Pokemon, that evolves from Geodude and Graveler through trade via link cable. This is the Alolan version of Graveler, who is a rock electric type.
I'm sorry, the what?
Alolan. Alolan is a new region. So they have region-specific variants
okay.
of some Pokemon now.
Yep.
This is from Sun and Moon, and this is Geodude, Graveler, and Golem are now rock electric. So that thing on his back is actually an arc cannon, and they electrify rocks as they shoot them out.
What?
Yeah, It's really neat. I like him because he's got a sweet mustache and just like a bunch of chest hair for no reason at all.
I'm sorry. Is this Scott the Pokemon?
Yeah, he is charged up and ready to go.
That's amazing. I had no idea. Oh,
yeah. Up next,
the classic.
we have the classic. Yeah, this is Boris Karloff as Mary Shelley's Frankenstein from 1934. I believe I don't
handsome.
have it written down, but I'm pretty good at this. Yeah, Boris Karloff was he was huge in these movies. He was also the original Mummy.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, and the Wolfman, I think. I'm prepared to be corrected on the Wolfman, but he was definitely the Mummy, and I think he might have been the Wolfman. Because Lon Chaney Jr. was the Wolfman after him, but I think Boris Karloff was the original one. The original creature actor, and just a classic still. Yeah, that protruding forehead, the bolts in the neck, like just immaculately lit from the bottom up, like just beautiful.
Love it.
These are an Age of Sigmar Warhammer faction called the Iron Golems. They are called so because, like the golem of myth and antiquity, they are indomitable. That means they can't be dominated. That's not actually what that means. But I thought it was a fun joke.
I was actually going to go, what do you mean by that? And then you just did it anyway. Oh, my God. Oh,
God. This is an interesting one. This is from X-Files Season 4, Episode 12, and is legitimately the best image I could find of it. The episode title is Kaddish. This is a flesh golem of a boy called Isaac who was shot to death by neo-Nazis and then resurrected into a golem to defend the Jewish people.
Oh, my God. Sorry, this is from what?
X-Files.
Oh, X-Files. Oh, God.
Yeah.
I've watched far too little of that show. I keep trying to periodically get back into it, and I enjoy it, but I can't seem to binge it. I have a hard time with binging with that show.
Yeah, it's not an easy one to binge.
It's fun though.
We have a couple more here that are honorable mentions that I didn't grab image of, and I'm kind of neglecting it now. The first is Detritus from the Discworld series, and Dorful, which are from Feet of Clay, both from Discworld, one's from Industrial Revolutions, one's from Feet of Clay, and they both play huge roles.
Recall coming across some mention of golems in Discworld. Yeah.
There is a live action version of Going Postal where they actually show Detritus, and for whatever reason I didn't grab an image of that, which kind of sucks.
Okay. Yeah.
And there's a myriad of video games from Minecraft to Magic the Gathering, as well as a self-titled board game from 2001 where players play as rabbis in Prague to create and grow golems.
What?
Links to all that will be in the show notes. Yeah.
Are you serious? There's a board game. Can we get it?
Yeah, probably. I haven't looked into it.
Is that insensitive to play? Like, what's happening?
I'm not even sure we're allowed to say Jews, so maybe.
No, we can. They exist. It's a thing.
I mean, Jewish is the right term, but
okay, fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, but so like I don't know if it's culturally insensitive or not. They must be a resilient people, considering they've been hated literally since the dawn of time.
Oh wait, sorry, hold on. Did you say this video? When was this created, or this board game?
This board game came out last year, 2021.
This is brand new. Holy shit!
Yeah. There's a link to it in the show notes.
I missed that part. I was like, they're like, oh, this must have came out in the 70s. It's like weird. That's crazy. It's a modern.
I think it was at the end of last year too. So like 12 to 14 months ago.
That's so cool. I want to see that game.
Yeah, the link's right there in front of you.
That's so fun.
And the last one we're going to talk about is a little bit more of an analog than an actual golem, but I thought this concept was so cool, and I've come across it a few times that I couldn't let it slide. So what you originally talked about, Emmet,
yep.
In Yiddish is spelt with a character that kind of looks like a flourished N, like N Nebraska. So the closest analog to that in English is the letter A. And the next one we're going to talk about is this gentleman over here. This is Captain America, created by Joe Simon and Jack Kirby, two very proud Jewish authors and artists in 1941, and they were created as a response to Hitler invading Europe. One, he's got the holy letter on his forehead. Two, he was created by a Jewish scientist, Albert Erskine, where he was injected with a super soldier serum to make him big and strong. So like there's a theory going around where he's an analog for a golem protecting the Jewish people, and they immediately sent him over. And Captain America was created in response to Hitler invading Europe. So there's a link in the show notes as well to an article called Captain America Pop Culture's Most Prevalent Golem or something like that. Okay. And they make a really good case for him actually just being a golem, even though the spirit of Steve Rogers is in this new hulking body that was created by a Jewish scientist.
Right. Really, really interesting thing I did not expect. I see one flaw in this story, and it's that America starts with an apostrophe. Apostrophe Murica. America.
Right. They didn't have room for fuck yeah on his chest.
So, sure, it's a bit of a stretch putting the A on there, whatever,
I mean, take it up with the corpse of Jack Kirby, I guess.
No, that's actually genuinely cool. I would have never known that. That's a really, really neat fact.
I don't think that's a fact. Yeah. I think that's I think this is probably more coincidence than anything, but it's a cool theory.
Yeah. That's super fun. I'm into it. Cool. I only have one thing to add at the end of this list, and it's because you mentioned it in the last episode. You said you were excited for the information on the Terracotta Army.
Yes.
And there was
so I looked into it, and it's not they're not actually. Okay. So they're a funerary army from
holy
one
shit.
king.
Did I miss something? And I went looked it up, and no,
they're not relevant like I thought they were. What I was thinking of was the Mummy 3, The Secret of the Emperor's Tomb.
The one that doesn't count. Oh wait, sorry. Yeah, one of two that don't count.
I don't know. The second one wasn't terrible.
The second was not terrible. It's just
at least the second one had Rachel Weisz in it.
Yeah.
Instead of the "I'm a whole nother person now" line. So that's the one I was thinking of. But that being said, the third one does have Jet Li in it, which whatever.
I mean, I'm sure no matter what, there's been more than even that film that has animated the Terracotta Army in some capacity, but culturally, historically, it was never related to the animation. They're a funerary art, as it were. So it's non-applicable, as it were.
Yeah, I think there's a Jet Li movie where they also animate the Terracotta warriors, where he comes back, like he gets thawed out, and he was like this ancient Chinese emperor. I don't remember what it's called. It was on Netflix. It was really good.
A bell. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love me a good Jet Li movie.
That was Donnie Yen.
cheesy as Donnie Yen. I love being a Donnie Yen movie too.
Yeah, right.
They're
And this was a good Donnie Yen
cheesy,
movie,
but I love them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second, and I will find it. Because it was pretty good. Iceman. It's called Iceman.
Actually,
so
that
like
rings
this.
a bell. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's on Netflix. Like, I don't think there's an English dub version of it, so it's all subtitles. But like between that and Special ID, like you kind of get you get why Donnie Yen.
Is it like is it an ancient warrior that's like frozen and then wakes up in modern times kind of thing? Did we somehow accidentally just like connect unrelated Terracotta Army shit with Jet Li, but also with Brendan Fraser, who was in Encino Man?
Well, so Jet Li was in the Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, which was The Mummy 3.
Right.
That was Jet Li and Michelle Yeoh. So he's connected. We just tangentially connected Donnie Yen to Brendan Fraser.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think they've ever been in a movie together.
But
no,
damn.
I think Donnie Yen's first American film was Blade 2.
That adds up.
Yeah, he was one of the Reavers. I think no, they weren't Reavers. What were they called? He was part of the Vampire Kill Team with Priest and Sugar.
Yeah.
Ron Perlman. He was Snowman was his name. He had 2 swords and he never spoke.
Snowman.
And he had the Chinese glyph for Snowman on his chest. Yeah, that's the movie I fell in love with him with. I was like, I need to see more of this guy because
That's great.
Like you could see that none of the scenes were being cut, and I don't know why we're talking about this. Donnie Yen, Ice Golem, Blade 2.
Kung Fu movies, go.
Kung Fu.
Totally related to Jewish folklore of the golem.
Yeah. Well, if you made it this far, thank you very much for listening. You can find this and all of our previous episodes on our website at unchartednorth.com or encounterthis.ca. They both will lead you to the same place. If you liked it I can't imagine why you would have liked this episode.
For the plethora of reasons to like it.
Right. For the myriad of reasons, you can support us at patreon.com/unchartednorth, where $5 a month will get you a handwritten thank you letter and some goodies mailed out to you. For $10 a month, you can choose a creature for this show, and you get a discount to our merch store, which we haven't really solidified yet, but
working on it. It'll be soon.
I think it's 10%, but yeah, that will be coming soon, and that will be retroactive to any purchases made there. If you want to get in touch with us, you can shoot us an email at info@encounterthis.ca. And you can find us on Facebook and Twitter at EncounterPod and Instagram at encounter.pod. This new intro is tough. And if you're listening to the audio version of this show, there is a brand new video version at youtube.com/@encounterpod. YouTube URLs are fucked now. It's real weird. You can just search EncounterPod. We'll eventually come up.
We'll be there.
Yeah, and this is our second most episode, and we're constantly updating our format on the videos. So if you see something you like, you see something you don't like, if you have any constructive criticism on how we can improve, feel free to leave a comment there and ring the bell for notifications when new episodes come up in live, and hit the subscribe button for I don't remember why people subscribe, to be notified when new content comes out. The subscribe button really does help us. The like button doesn't really help us. The dislike button actually does really help us because it tells us whether or not you actually like the episode, even though you can't see it. YouTube is a beast, and we are still very much learning how to do that and video production. So thank you so much for listening, listeners. And this will get tighter and better, probably, eventually, maybe.
If you're lucky.
See you around.